everyone and welcome to Workplace Truth. I'm Tirajani, your host for today. So today's topic is actually something very serious, but also something many people experience in real life, which is workplace power abuse. When we say power abuse, it simply means when someone in a high position use their authority in a wrong way. And this can happen in two big ways. It can happen directly to people, something like bullying, harassment, and unfair treatment. But it also can happen to the whole company, like bribery, corruption, and unfair business decisions. At first, these may sound like two different problems, but actually, they are very connected, cause both come from the same root, which is the misuse of power. So, today, we are going to explore both sides. Alright, now, let me introduce our guests one by one. First, we have Ivan. Ivan experienced workplace bullying and harassment during his working life, and today he will share his real life experiences. Welcome, Ivan.
Hi, thanks for inviting me.
Next, we have Moon. Moon worked in a company where she saw some corruption practices happening behind the scenes. Welcome, Moon.
Thank you, glad to be here.
We also have Chanji here. Chanji used to be a middle manager and she will share how being in power can slowly change how a person behaves. Welcome, Chanji, to the show.
Thank you, I'm really happy to join this show.
Alright, and we also have Dr. Li Shulian. Dr. Li Shulian, a psychologist. He will help us in understanding how these experiences affect people's mental health. Thank you, Doctor, for lending your time to be here with us today.
Thank you so much. I'm very glad to be here today.
And for better insight, we also have Nuha. Nuha, who works in corporate compliance, she will explain how the companies try to prevent these problems. Welcome, Nuha, to the show.
Thank you for having me.
And finally, Alisa, our field reporter. She went out to talk to people and also look into a real case in Malaysia. Welcome, Alisa.
Hi, Akira. Thank you for inviting me.
Alright, everyone, let's start. Ivan, maybe you can begin. Can you tell us what happened to you at work?
Okay, I joined the Star Media production when I graduated. At first time, I was very excited, and this is my first job, and everything feels so exciting and fresh. And after a few months, I noticed that my supervisor that is treating me differently. In meetings, even small mistakes would be pointed out from everyone. And even who joke at me, and I feel so embarrassed.
Oh, that's bad. Did you say anything at the time?
No, I did not, because I was new and I thought it was a normal work pressure, so I didn't work. But in a few months after work, my senior manager started to message me at work. At first it was normal, but after a few days, things get make me uncomfortable. So I start to ignoring this message. Then I found out I was removed from another project and my work performance rating dropped.
Oh, that's very stressful. Yeah, maybe you feel very stressful right at that time.
Yeah, I feel tired all the time and couldn't sleep properly, and I'm very about to go to work. And then I For myself, I want to quit. And I sat in my car before I go to work. I asked myself, maybe it's time to quit.
Oh, yeah, thank you for sharing that with us, Ivan. That must be hard for you to handle it all alone. So, Dr. Lee, when you hear this, what do you think? What do you think is happening to someone like Ivan?
Actually, what even describes very common nowadays. When someone is treated badly again and again at work, it is no longer just normal stress. It slowly affects their mentally and physically. At first, they try to stay strong, but over time it became hard to switch off their work. Even at home, they still thinking about it, but they still do not have a rest. They started feeling tired all the time, even after resting and slow losing confidence. Instead of seeing their situation, they start blaming themselves. This this became serious when they affects their daily life. They may even feel anxious before going to work. At the point, it's no longer just working stress. It's his emotional harm.
But based on your expert, like, what do you think? Why they don't just report?
It's a good question. For me, I think, in my opinion, I think mostly because of fear. They're afraid to lose their job, not being believed, or getting in trouble. And actually can affect their career too. When someone constantly stressed, their focus at the work became weaker and became mentally exhausted. This affects their performance, confidence, and sometimes their future opportunities.
Wow, that's a whole deeper perspective. Thanks, Dr. Lee. So, from Ivan's story, we can see how one person can be deeply affected. But what's interesting is this kind of silence doesn't just stay in one situation. It can also affect bigger things in a company. Who you saw something like that, right? So can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so in the company I worked in before, I started noticing something strange over time. It was not just once, it kept happening. The same suppliers kept getting projects again and again, even when other companies offered better price and sometimes better quality. At first, I thought there might be a reason, but after a while it became too obvious.
Oh, that sounds cheap. Did people ever question it?
Some people did, but most stayed quiet. No one really read it openly because everyone knew it was a sensitive issue. Because there were relationships between managers and suppliers, like dinner, gifts, and trips. It was not openly called corruption, but everyone could sense it.
So everyone just ignore it?
Not really ignored, but like they choose not to get involved because it feels risky. People just stayed quiet and focus on their work. And this actually impacted the company and started losing money because decisions were not based on the best option. Trust between employers also dropped. They start to feel like it's not fair anymore.
So again, we see silence. I will stay silent because of fear. And in your case, people also stay silent. Now, I want to read in chanting because you were in once on do you think when you hear all of the stories?
So I say I can understand two sides. When I have a manager, I have more power and to make more decision. So first, I want to be careful and prepare to worker. But slowly, I started getting in there to people, and I trusted. And sometimes I annoyed companies because I was busy. So I didn't realize my actions really affect workers.
But now you say it differently, right?
Yes. But later one boy she told me she feels aware and uncomfortable, but no one to listen to. So this made me realize that even more
Can you Yes. Yes.
So yes, later one employee she told me she feels uncomfortable and she feels unfair. So but no one to listen to she. So that made me realize even small decision will have a big impact to other workers.
So you think power can change people's feeling?
Yes, exactly. It's often start to with small decisions, and at first, think you are just doing your job, but slowly unfair behavior start to feel normal. So no one speak up, so it can become a much bigger problem.
That's a strong point. So if power abuse can grow like that, how do we stop it? Let's ask Mom, what's your opinion on that?
Honestly, from a compliance point of view, I think the most important thing is for everyone to follow and set up a clear rules. Because people need to know what is actually acceptable behavior and what is actually not. But having rules alone is not actually enough. People must make sure that everyone follows the rules, because if they did not follow the rules, then the rules is actually useless and not working in real. Companies really need to set up and create a safe environment for everyone to report if they are having a problem. That means employees should be able to speak up when they are facing something difficult in their life, whether they are facing something hardship or some harassment or something. They should not worry about the punishment or the consequences that will happen on after that. And there should also be a proper follow-up from the company, because if people are reporting the things that they are facing, the things that they are going through, but there is no follow-up or no action after that, then it is all useless and they will not trust the system anymore.
But what about manager?
I believe that managers should
Okay. Biani tayo Zoom, tayo Zoom, so dekat ada Zoom kan? And kita buat white shot. Okay, you do. What about managers?
So managers actually should be the one that plays a really good role in this situation. They should lead by example. For example, they should be fair, they should treat everyone fairly. If they did not treat everyone fairly, then everyone will not trust them anymore. Because if they start to play favoritism, I believe that it will mess up the whole team culture.
But how about corruption cases?
In many cases, corruption does not happen when there are not enough
But how about the corruption cases?
In many cases, honestly, the corruption keeps happening because there are not enough of monitoring and checking. So companies should really have a proper audit system, and decisions like the supplier selection should be publicly made for everyone in the company's building. There should be a clear documentation so everything can actually be traced.
Okay, let's move on. What if employees feel powerless?
They are actually not really powerless because first we should keep all the proof with them. We should keep the proof of the messages, of the emails, or even the calls, and report it through a proper channel. I believe that every company has their own proper channel, like the HR. So, but if nothing changes after they report it, I think they could reach out to external organizations like in Malaysia we do have the Jabatan Buruh, so we could ask them for help and they can check it properly through a proper process.
Thank you, Noah. So we have heard how companies should handle this issue and what employees can do if they feel stuck. Now, let us move to someone who went out to the field and told us about it. Alisa, what did you find out?
So thanks, Atira. I did spoke to few people on the street regarding the workplace bullying, harassment, as well as corruption. Most of them said that this issue happen quite often, but they are not always visible on the outside. But on the surface of a workplace, this may seem normal to some people, but what they experience inside can be very different. And a lot of people also say that they would want to speak up about this matter, but they still scared of doing it. And so there is always the conflict between knowing that what is right and protecting themselves over this issue.
So Alisa, from what you saw and from what you heard, what do you think? Why did people still stay silent?
Well, Atira, to me, from what I gathered on the ground, the biggest factors, I will say it is about their financial security. So for most people, the job is their primary livelihood. As they think twice before risking over something like that. And the ties right back to what Ivan and also Mu mentioned earlier. Even when employees know something is fundamentally wrong, their fear literally keeps them quiet over it. So we also look at a real world case here in Malaysia regarding the workplace issue and management behavior. So this highlighted a major gap when there isn't a clear, safe system for reporting problems like that. Employees feel trapped and lost. So to the point, it boils down to workplace culture. If people feel safe in their workplace, they definitely will speak up about what they have been facing. But if they are afraid, they still will stay silent about that issue.
Okay. So Dr. how about you?
Yeah. I think please don't ignore or normalize if you're feeling emotional stress at work. Seek help from your surroundings.
So, Mu, do you have anything to say?
Don't tolerate something you feel like a small correction. If no one questions, it becomes no more questions.
Thank you, Mu. How about you, Chancy?
So when you are at the top, just be careful because your small actions will affect many people later.
Thank you, Chanji. So, Ma, is there anything you want to remind our viewers?
So my reminders to our viewers is that every company should have the rules that everyone should follow. Just make sure that everyone at work will follow the rules. And if you ever feel prejudice at work, then never be scared to report to the right channel.
Yes, that's a good reminder. So, finally, our last one, our field report that is.
So I feel like from the public view, the awareness is there, but so the fear. However, we need to bridge the gap, and to anyone who been watching this, Don't let the fear stop you from doing whatever is right. You should take the step and be the agent of the changes to change your workplace need. So that will be all for me.
Alright, thank you everyone for the good key takeaways. So today we look at workplace power abuse from different angles. We spoke how it affects individuals through bullying and harassment, and how it affects companies through corruption and unfair practices. And from all the stories and opinions today, one thing is very clear. This problem grows when power is misused and when people are too afraid to speak. So the real question is not just what is wrong, but what we will do when we see it happen. Thank you to all our guests and thank you for watching. I'm Tira and this is Workplace Truth. See you in another episode.